Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm doing a Cosworth cylinder head repair in this video, and I've just noticed that I'm in pretty need of an haircut. I ain't got a lot of hair, but when it grows out. So yeah, not flattering. Anyway, so this Cosworth head repair, this is for a friend of mine called Jake. He's got a Mark II Escort with he's got two actual big power Cosy engines. We haven't built these, but they're good engines that he's got in his cars. And he's got a slight running problem with the engine that's actually in the car, and when it's running he saw some smoke coming from underneath the inlet. So he took the head off and he's noticed that each one of these inlet runners is cracked. So he rang me and said, can I repair it? I said I'd have a go. So what I'm going to do first with it is, while the plenum is still connected, this is like a Swedish style plenum, I'm gonna get the die grinder and just tidy up, hit like in a couple of the corners, like here and here on each one, and then just spot weld them, because I think if I take the plenum off, these bits are going to fall off. In fact, it will. Look how loose that is, and I don't want that. So yeah, so I'm gonna grind it out so it's nice and clean. Just put an initial bit of weld there to lock the two parts together, and then I'm going to take the inlet manifold off and then weld it up as best as I can. I've got to clean all this swarf off now, but I put a nice deep groove in each one of them, so I'm gonna go ahead and weld these bits up, then strip it off, grind it out more, and then weld the lot again. So I've just started to weld that one up. I've left a bit of brake cleaner in there. I don't know if you can see the flame. I need to blow that out really. But yeah, I've started to weld that one up. I'll just go over the rest of them, strip it and get some good weld on there then, but it's penetrated. I'm happy with that. So I've done the right hand side of each one of these. I'm going to go and do the left hand side and then strip it. So that's each one sort of tack welded. So I'm going to strip it back now and finish it off. Inlet manifolds off. I've ground out along here where I need to go, and then I've just gone out to the edges as well where I didn't go before because of the gasket. So I'm going to carry on welding along there now. I've welded all the bottom of here up, and what I've got to do now is where the crack went across here, I don't want a crack to be there because it could potentially like track across and maybe start to crack it again. So I've ground all these bits out and cleaned it off. I'm just going to run a little bit of aluminium across these 8 grooves, clean them faces up, and then I'm hoping that we'll be about there with this, with a bit of luck. It's pulling quite a lot of dirt out of that crack, so I'm going to grind that back a bit more. I'm going to grind the other ones deeper as well and clean the electrode up on the end of the TIG welder because it's not very happy at the moment. Next is cleaning up the manifold face, the flange face, and I was going to just do it with a file, but I weren't happy with it, to be honest. It's filing, but it's just not looking that nice, so I'm gonna mount it in the mill. I'm gonna use an angle finder which looks like, strange, I had a couple of them out. Oh, there's one like that. So I'm gonna, although it's a smaller square one that I'm looking for, which I had earlier, so I'm gonna put that on there, get my 90 degrees like that, make sure it's all reading 0. What I'm using to set that angle up is this adjustable angle plate. So I'm going to undo these 2 nuts, swivel it, put the angle finder on here, get it so it's all running true, remove these studs and then just run over it and fly cut the lot. Should look a lot better. So I've had to take some of the exhaust studs out from underneath to get it to mount, and I'm just going to take as many bits off as I can so I don't damage them. So I'm going to take this temperature sensor and this water housing off, yeah, and then just clean up straight across there. So there's a low bit here and there's a low bit there, but this cutter's finished, I think, so I'm going to go and change it to a fly cutter and then go over the whole lot to try and get it all one nice finish, because you can see swill marks in it. I don't like it, it looks pretty rough, so we will change it for a fly cutter, which is basically exactly what it sounds. It's I'll find it and show you. It's basically that. So I'm going to stick that in the mill, set one of these cutters up and make a neater job than what we've made at the moment. The fly cutter's in now, and straight away it's doing a much neater job. It's doing it all in one cut instead of multiple passes as well, which is nice. You can actually see the change in colour where it's welded as well. I'm going to give it a bit of spray because it's back cutting. I could stop that by putting a little bit of tilt on the cutter, which I'll see what the finish is like, and if I'm not happy with it I'll probably do that. So this is the final cut now. That's it. I'm going to drop the bed down to get the cutter away from the finish. Manifold face, but there we go, it's all fly cut. There's no nasty burrs. The weld's taken really well. I'm going to just go around and deburr all of these faces by hand. I put grease in there to stop any swarf falling in that oil feed. So I'm going to get rid of the grease, blow it all off, get it through the cleaner a few times for him, and then it's down to him whether he wants to strip it to make sure it's clean. But we've done the job that we said we're going to do, which is weld a pull under there, weld up that face, and then we've machined the mating face as well, so we know that it's all nice and flat. So I'm going to take it off the mill, deburr it, get it in the cleaner, and then I'll show you what it looks like finished. So that's the inlet manifold face all machined as well. To get it nice and flat, it had quite a bit of bend in there, so put the fly cutter in. That's all done, looks good. It's been through the wash. I've just spoken to Jake, my customer, and he wants us to give it a reface, so I'm going to quickly take the cams and the hydraulics out, give it a reface. I'll give it another wash, but I think what I'm going to do is, even though I've blowed out this oil way, I did see a little bit of swarf in there, so I'm going to take these rear bungs out as well and then just blow through to make sure that there's nothing trapped in there. I don't want no dirt in there. The weld looks pretty good. In fact, I'll turn it around and show you that in a sec. Or I'll show you that when it's on the head skimmer. You can see the original crack on the inside because I haven't welded the inside. I've just really built up the weld on the outside. Left that like that. So I've refaced the Cosworth, and it needed 6 thou off it to get it straight again. It had pulled along here quite a bit from the heat, I guess. I then did a vac test on the valves, and 2 inlet valves and 2 exhaust valves wasn't sealing. The rest of them was. I think it was just because where I've taken the cams and the followers out, as the valves closed, it's just caught some dirt behind the seat, but we didn't want to risk it, so we've taken the valves out. I'm just going to wire wheel the dirt off them and then just grind them in so we know that all 16 of them are perfect, and then put it back in the wash. This is the back side of the head what I've welded, so we've got a nice good thick bit of weld across all of that, and I've ground it all out, so I've built it all back up with weld. So we've had 4 valves out of this, refaced the valves, ground them back into the seat. I've refaced the inlet manifold face, it's all welded up. We've emptied the hydraulic followers, gave it a reface, washed it all off, and now Jake's here to collect it. So let me, so that's the head face all cleaned up on the head skimmer. I put the cams roughly in the right position. It's been through the cleaner, but I'm going to get Jake to just give it a good blow off as well. And then that's all the weld, the repair. These are the 4 valves that weren't sealing, so they're all done now. It's got a full vacuum. And then another quick look at the inlet manifold face. I've put the bung back in for the oil drilling. Yeah, quite happy with that repair. So like I say, Jake's here to collect it now so he can get it back on his car over this week coming. On to the next job.